Finally, AEW Double or Nothing 2026 is officially in the history books. And what a crazy night it was. Let's see what happened on the show tonight. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from the channel. And check out our website at aewtalkdown.com for all the latest news, rumors, and breakdowns. Let's begin. Hardcore legend in AEW, as Mick Foley is all elite. The night started off with a massive surge of adrenaline when wrestling legend Mick Foley made his highly anticipated AEW debut during the buy-in pre-show. Renee Paquette welcomed Foley to a roaring New York ovation, where he emotionally declared this to be one of the biggest nights of his life. However, the celebration was instantly cut short when an arrogant MJF stormed down the ramp, verbally assaulting Foley and taking cheap shots at the city. Foley fiercely fired back, warning MJF that Darby Allin was coming to take his hair and his dignity. When MJF went for a cowardly low blow, Darby Allin rushed the ring to make a heroic save, and Foley sent him off into the main event with an impassioned, bang bang rally cry. New champs crowned as Cage and Copeland walk away with the titles. The main pay-per-view card opened in absolute anarchy, with an emotionally charged, violent I Quit New York street fight for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. FTR defended their titles like absolute warriors in a match that quickly became a total bloodbath filled with steel chairs, ladders, and cinder blocks. The violence peaked when Beth Copeland arrived to neutralize Stokely, leading to a jaw-dropping moment where Cash Wheeler speared his own manager through a flaming table on the outside. Inside the ring, FTR threatened to end Copeland's career, but Beth hit a low blow on Harwood, allowing Cage and Copeland to lock in stereo submissions. To seal the deal, Copeland produced Spike, the nail-covered wooden board, and dug it directly into Harwood's skull until he screamed, "I quit," to crown Christian Cage and Adam Copeland as the brand new AEW World Tag Team Champions. The Alpha reigns supreme and Callis family realignment. In an absolute physical masterpiece for the International Championship, the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita battled the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, in an Icon vs. Icon dream match. Okada dominated parts of the match with relentless psychology, landing a brutal Rainmaker on the floor and mocking the crowd. Takeshita fought back with raw fighting spirit, executing a stunning Tope Con Hilo and a wheelbarrow suplex combination. In an unbelievable sequence, Takeshita landed a thunderous power drive knee, and Okada somehow managed to kick out at a count of 1. Takeshita quickly regrouped, hoisting Okada up for the Raging Fire in the center of the ring to capture the International Championship. After the match, a returning Kyle Fletcher came out to seemingly celebrate and hug his teammate, but shockingly leveled Takeshita with a clothesline, laying out the new champion with a sheer drop brainbuster to solidify a dark alliance with Okada and the Don Callis family. Athena survives and advances in the Owen Cup tournament fever gripped New York as Athena collided with Mina Shirakawa in a highly competitive quarterfinal match for the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. Athena took control early with brutal power moves, dropping Shirakawa with a backbreaker on the apron and crashing her into the barricade. However, Athena heavily damaged her own knee during the offense, giving Shirakawa a clear target to systematically dismantle her limb with a springboard tornillo and a deep figure 4 leg lock. Showing the heart of a champion, a limping Athena fought through agonizing pain, catching Shirakawa out of nowhere with a tombstone piledriver before ascending the ropes to hit a flawless O-face for the hard-fought victory to advance to the semifinals. Moxley forces a tap-out in Continental title submission war. The AEW Continental Championship was on the line in a grueling physical submission war between Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly brought intense striking and quick transitions, catching Moxley with a flying knee and a guillotine choke on the outside. The tide turned completely when O'Reilly accidentally struck his own leg against the steel ring post. Moxley, displaying his cold-blooded ring awareness, immediately targeted the structural damage by isolating the leg with repeated corner attacks and a deep knee bar. O'Reilly transiently fought back with a cross armbreaker and a desperation ankle lock, but Moxley uncorked a vicious lariat, a death rider, and locked in an excruciating knee bar that ultimately forced O'Reilly to tap out. Will Ospreay overcomes the Coquina Clutch. The roof nearly blew off the building for the highly anticipated Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament quarterfinal between Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe. Ospreay went at a lightning-fast pace from the opening bell, hitting a sudden Os cutter and a springboard 450 splash for an immediate near fall. Joe quickly slowed things down by trapping Ospreay in a Coquina Clutch on the outside and violently targeting Ospreay's surgically repaired neck against the barricade. Joe pummeled Ospreay with devastating chops and a heavy senton splash, but Ospreay showed unbelievable resilience, hitting a clutch styles clash and a hidden blade. Joe fought out of a second hidden blade to secure another deep Coquina Clutch, but Ospreay broke the hold by reaching the ropes, escaping a muscle buster to hit Joe with consecutive hidden blades to capture a legendary pinfall victory. Swerve Strickland punches his ticket to the semifinals. In another spectacular Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament quarterfinal, Swerve Strickland went to war with ROH World Champion Bandito. Bandito stunned the former world champion early, using his incredible athleticism to hit a one-arm gorilla press slam and a springboard senton to the outside. Swerve responded by driving Bandito face first into the turnbuckle with a German suplex, but Bandito kept fighting back, executing an unbelievable Poison Rana from the apron directly onto the floor. After Bandito landed a 21-plex, his neck collapsed under the physical strain, allowing Swerve to take advantage. Swerve countered a final Hurricane Rana into a devastating vertebreaker and closed the match with a thunderous house call to punch his ticket to the semifinals. Toxic Spider steals a victory in chaotic four-way chaos, completely took over the women's division as the Toxic Spider. Thekla defended her AEW Women's World Championship against three dangerous former champions. The challengers initially unified to take out Thekla before turning on each other in a relentless showcase of power and strikes, highlighted by Thekla wiping everyone out with a crossbody off the top rope to the floor. Inside the ring, Hayter connected with a thunderous Haterade on Thekla, but Shida broke up the pin with a running knee. Statlander capitalized on the wreckage, hitting a Saturday Night Fever on the champion, but Shida wildly interrupted the count with a kendo stick shot. As Hayter and Shida fought fiercely out to the floor, a clever Thekla capitalized on the distraction inside the ring, hitting a final stomp on Statlander to steal the victory and retain her title. Team Jericho survives absolute anarchy in Stadium Stampede. The historic 14-man Stadium Stampede match was an absolute masterpiece of pure, unadulterated anarchy. Team Jericho battled the Demand, the Dogs, and the Don Callis family across the entire arena facility, featuring everything from a surprise appearance by Rush to a massive backstage food fight involving Satnam Singh. The violence went to another level when the Young Bucks super-kicked a trash can over Clark Connors in a shopping cart, and Bobby Lashley speared Mark Davis through a table. In the final moments of the war, Ricochet was left completely isolated in the ring, enduring a brutal 7-way superkick before Chris Jericho hit a lion salt on Bishop Khan for the historic pinfall victory. After the match, Jericho set up a single table, pointed to the sky, and launched himself through it in an emotional tribute to Sabu. Gold regained and the Jet lands a stunning dark betrayal. The emotional main event featured a dramatic title versus hair match with the stakes higher than they have ever been. Darby Allin took MJF down with rapid headlock takeovers, but the match turned brutal when Darby misjudged a dive and crashed headfirst into the announce desk. MJF went full heel, attempting to use an electric razor on Darby in a barber's chair, but Darby countered into a guillotine choke. In a moment that left the crowd completely speechless, Darby climbed 20 feet into the air to the top of the stage sign, letting out a bang bang before crashing through MJF and a table with a coffin drop. Despite a massive gash on his head, Darby dragged MJF back inside for another coffin drop, but MJF shockingly kicked out. MJF hit an avalanche tombstone piledriver and took Darby over with a headlock takeover to regain the AEW World Championship and save his hair. As a broken Darby Allin was being loaded onto a stretcher after the match, MJF arrogantly stood over him to pose with the title. TNT Champion The Jet Kevin Knight rushed the ring to chase MJF away, but then turned around and shocked the entire wrestling world. Knight scaled the turnbuckle and executed a heinous UFO splash directly onto an already injured Darby Allin while he was still strapped to the stretcher, flipping it over completely to close the show in a stunning, dark betrayal. And that was AEW Double or Nothing 2026. What are your thoughts on that? Make sure to visit our website at aewtalkdown.com for full match ratings, exclusive rumors, and detailed breakdowns. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at AEW TalkDown so you never miss any of our videos. See you in the next one.